All right, we got the SENCUT ArcBlast. If you guys don't know, SENCUT is the budget brand from Civivi and We Knife. So we got We Knives at the top pretty much with the premium folders. You got the Civivi at the medium value point, and SENCUT is the average, is the budget version, right, of the trifecta there. But bam, here it is, guys. Take a look. And we got the wiping cloth here, bam, and the warranty instructions, right? Nice little sticker there, right? Silica gel, SENCUT sticker, all that good stuff in the pouch. So let's take a look. It looks like yeah, first impression is definitely very lightweight. I can feel the cold touch on the aluminum. Let me fix this K or the OCD will kill me. Definitely feel the aluminum there, feels very lightweight. Flipper deployment, we got thumb studs, and SENCUT does really good thumb studs there, by the way. Check that out. All right, you got some jimping going on the flipper tab. It is a button lock. Okay, looks like a plunge lock button lock going on. So let's just go ahead and get this thing deployed. Here we go. Without further ado, bam. All right, take a look at this thing. Oh man, is this a hollow ground? Because if it is, this thing is looking good already. Holy macaroni. Okay, let's take a look at this after a nice little wipe right there. Look at that, guys. Holy smokes. Nice, beautiful swedge at the top for personality. Then you got this mean hollow ground, right? SENCUT for the first time. I don't know if I can think of any other SENCUT model. Maybe they're out there, right? But man, they're venturing into hollow grounds now. And it comes to a very thin edge. Oh, I think so. Yes, sir. Sign me up all day, every day. Holy macaroni. It is also a very thin blade. Look how thin this is. Holy crap. So if the blade is thin, the hollow grind is going to come to an even thinner edge. So it's 0.10. It's lower than the average 0.12 in the channel. Thickness on the handle is 0.46, just a hair thinner than the 0.5 in the channel, right? Average in the channel. So you know, right, with a thin blade and also a very thin hollow ground, this thing is going to be a laser beam, right? Just hands down an absolute laser. So drop point geometry going on there. It is a button lock, of course, which, by the way, Civivi and SENCUT, they know how to make button locks, right? They do a great job. This is I can already tell you this is going to be a very fidgety EDC without a doubt. Thumb deployment, bam, right? Reverse flick, yes, right? They know how to tune a knife. Holy crap, that is snappy. If I use the nail of my middle finger there, boom, right? And then of course they put the SENCUT thumb stud on there, as you can see here on the Crowley, all right, so you can see here on the Sachse. So yeah, let's just do some size comparisons, right? Let's take a look here. We got the Sachse, one of my all-time favorite button locks from SENCUT. It's a little bit bigger. Same thing here with the Crowley. As you can see, right, flat grind, but this is gorgeous, man. Hollow ground, oof, yes, absolutely. I want to say also the blade stock is a little bit, right, you can see there, a little bit thicker on these other guys, definitely thinner on this guy. Holy macaroni. So yeah, highly recommendable. These are some of the best bang for the buck you can get at a budget price. Super fidgety with so many deployment options, at least 4, right? Thumb studs on both sides, flipper deployment, button lock, super amazing. Check out the Sachse and the Crowley in the channel, right? These are some of my OGs from the channel for about almost 2 years ago, so they're just that good. And you can even look into the SENCUT Serene. All right, the SENCUT Serene is a combination of this knife, the Sachse, and the Crowley into one with the aluminum handle, which is what this one has. Can't go wrong with it at all. So ergonomics, right? So I got average size hands, not the biggest of hands, not the smallest of hands. Able to get a full purchase here, right? Full purchase, no refund. And yes, definitely, if you have big old hands, you might want to forward choke here a little bit. It looks like it does have a finger choil situation. I want to say the Sachse, not much of a finger choil going on there. The Crowley, similar scenario like here. So it's kind of like SENCUT wants to give you a forward choke finger choil, but they kind of don't. They kind of do, but they kind of don't. So they give you this instead. Right? You can see it's kind of like they start with a template. It's like, listen, the finger choil has to look like this, and then as long as it looks like this, make whatever the blade geometry you want to do. Like, am I right? Look at this, right? I mean, they could make it a little bit more round, perhaps, if you ask me. Something more along the lines of, like the CJRB Hectare. It's a little bit more of a, curve, right? That's good for your index finger, but, you get the idea. It still works, right? Still works. I'll say finger choil. Obviously, kind of be careful. Know what you're doing, but you can totally forward choke there if you wanted to. No jimping on the blade. I noticed that. Maybe because it's so thin. I'm not sure what the mindset was there, but we do have the deep pocket carry clip, which is a standard deep carry clip from SENCUT, as you see in other models. A little bit shorter here as compared to the Crowley. All right, take a look. It's a little bit longer on the Crowley, a little bit longer on the Sachse. So it's nice to see that they're making a pocket clip that is proportionate to the length or size of the knife, which is nice. It is reversible, by the way, so lefties rejoice, right? You can mount it on the opposite side. And of course you can, you can totally fail it with your left hand, because if you're like me, your left hand doesn't work for nothing. There we go. All right, let me just get my broken left hand to show off a little bit. There we go. So yeah, obviously it's a very ambidextrous friendly knife. You would just use your index finger for the button as compared to your thumb if you're a righty, but yeah, it makes sense that they made it reversible. And this aluminum handle feels really good. It's nice and contour all around, right? It kind of felt a little cold at the beginning, but now feels good, room temperature. And it's just nice and comfortable the way it drops right here. Helps with the ergonomics. The butt is nice and rounded, and they're using the big hardware, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Even We Knife, Civivi, SENCUT in their must-budget brand, they're using the T8, right? T8 should be the new standard in 2024, right? I think maybe they use T6 for the pocket clip, but that's a one-time transaction, right? If you're a righty, you keep the pocket clip where it's at. If you're a lefty, you switch it once, right? No big deal. But where it matters, everything else is T8. So very, very snappy. I want to say, you know, as the button lock works as the plunge grind here, right? And you don't get as good of a view here as you do. Actually, no, all of SENCUT flippers work like that. The flipper actually covers the button lock. But here you can actually see it a little bit better on the CJRB Pyrite. The way the plunge lock works is that circle shoves in between the blade tang right there, and it works sort of as a detent, right? It also does the same once it's locked in place like that. And as you push the button, right, you're moving that circular piece away so you can fold the blade back in. So basically, essentially the same thing is happening, except obviously is being covered by the flipper on here. But yeah, Civivi, We Knives, and SENCUT, they sure know how to do a button lock. Man, this thing is oof, snappy button lock, right? Sometimes, you know, some people say, well, you know, a button lock doesn't have a detent. Exactly, it doesn't. The button lock itself works as a detent. And here, I don't know if it gets any better than that. Like, look how snappy that is. Well, there you have it, guys. Just a quick first impression video on the SENCUT ArcBlast. What an interesting, awesome, you know, making a great first impression of an EDC knife right here. Aluminum handles. Only wish the steel was maybe 14C28N instead of 9CR18MOV. But other than that, I mean, look at the geometry. Look at the hollow ground there. That is sexy. It looks so good. Holy smokes, super fidgety, right? Definitely got to check this one out. It will be linked down below if you want to check it out. Pick one up for yourself, a family, a friend, loved one. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one, either this one or this one. Peace.